In 1962, King Kong emerged victorious over Godzilla in their first cinematic showdown, a result that intrigued audiences worldwide. As we anticipate the release of Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, the fifth installment in the MonsterVerse and the sequel to 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong, it's worth delving into some intriguing behind-the-scenes details. The clash between these iconic movie monsters in Godzilla vs. Kong wasn't their initial encounter, it was a rematch. King Kong vs. Godzilla, released by Toho in 1962, marked the third installment in both the Godzilla and King Kong franchises. This crossover event, akin to 1941's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, was a pivotal moment in cinematic history, setting the stage for future monster showdowns like Freddy vs. Jason in 2003 and Alien vs. Predator in 2004. What's remarkable is that despite Toho being the originator of Godzilla and a Japanese film company, King Kong emerged as the victor in their first cinematic duel. Contrary to rumors of different cuts tailored for Japanese and American audiences, King Kong's triumph was consistent across all versions of the film. From the inception of the script, King Kong was scripted as the winner, debunking any speculation regarding alterations to the storyline. The question remains, how did King Kong defeat Godzilla in King Kong vs. Godzilla? And more importantly, what motivated this outcome? Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is just around the corner, marking the fifth installment in the MonsterVerse and a sequel to the highly anticipated Godzilla vs. Kong of 2021. While the clash between these legendary movie monsters in 2021 was a momentous event, it was not their first cinematic encounter. It was actually round two. Back in 1962, Toho released King Kong vs. Godzilla, the third film in both the Godzilla and King Kong franchises. This crossover extravaganza followed in the footsteps of 1941's Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, and paved the way for future cinematic monster showdowns like Freddy vs. Jason in 2003 and Alien vs. Predator in 2004. What's noteworthy is that despite Toho's Japanese origins and Godzilla's creation, King Kong emerged victorious in their initial cinematic brawl. Contrary to rumors, there were no alternate cuts tailored for Japanese and American audiences. King Kong's triumph was inherent in the film's script from the outset. But how did King Kong manage to defeat Godzilla in King Kong vs. Godzilla? And more importantly, why did he win? The film unfolds with a pharmaceutical company transporting Kong from his home island to Japan in a bid to boost ratings for a sponsored television show. Meanwhile, Godzilla is awakened from his icy slumber by a United States submarine, prompting him to attack Tokyo while Kong is in transit. The two titans engage in combat, but Godzilla quickly gains the upper hand by unleashing his atomic breath to weaken Kong. As Kong retreats, he later grows stronger by feeding off electrical power lines. However, the movie never fully explains the rationale behind Kong's newfound strength. As the battle rages on, Godzilla attempts to burn Kong to death with his atomic breath, igniting the surrounding foliage. Yet, when a bolt of lightning strikes Kong, it revitalizes him and charges him up for the ultimate showdown. The film culminates in a dramatic clash, with Kong emerging victorious as they tumble into the water, leaving no sign of Godzilla. Despite Godzilla's status as a cinematic icon and Toho's Japanese roots, the decision for Kong to prevail was clear. The behind-the-scenes dynamics and narrative choices underscored Kong's prominence in the 1960s, making him the rightful winner of the epic showdown. Stay tuned as we explore more about the epic battle between King Kong and Godzilla in Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire, and uncover the enduring legacy of these iconic movie monsters. In the climactic showdown of the film, Godzilla unleashes its atomic breath, engulfing Kong in flames as they grapple amidst the blazing foliage. However, a sudden bolt of lightning strikes Kong, revitalizing him and charging him with newfound energy. The two titans tumble off a cliff into the water, with Kong emerging victorious while Godzilla's whereabouts remain unknown. For years, rumors circulated about two different cuts of the film, with one favoring Kong for American audiences and Godzilla for Japanese viewers. However, while minor differences exist between the versions, such as the roars heard during the fade to black, the final shot of Kong swimming away remains consistent in both. The decision for Kong to prevail in King Kong vs. Godzilla was influenced by various factors. Godzilla, a cinematic icon with numerous sequels, was relatively new compared to King Kong in the 1960s. Kong's enduring popularity and cultural significance, stemming from his debut film in 1933, made him the favored contender. Toho, originally more interested in a King Kong movie, substituted Godzilla for Frankenstein's monster, eventually leading to Kong's victory. Behind the scenes, the film's genesis stemmed from Willis O'Brien's concept of King Kong vs. Frankenstein, which underwent transformation when producer John Beck sold the idea to Toho. Godzilla replaced Frankenstein's monster due to legal concerns and Toho's desire for an original monster clash. As Godzilla became a more formidable opponent, Kong received upgrades to match his power, including lightning and electricity power-ups. King Kong vs. Godzilla became a massive hit in Japan, revitalizing the Godzilla franchise and setting the stage for subsequent monster battles. The film's success paved the way for Godzilla vs. Mothra and propelled Godzilla into global cinematic stardom. In 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla emerged as the initial victor in their epic rematch, showcasing hallmarks of their iconic showdown. Now, as former adversaries, they must unite against a new threat in Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. These titans will either stand together or fall alone in theaters on March 29, 2024. Thanks for watching.